What's good, jet setters? Now, the Game and 50 Cent beef almost caused the second East Coast West Coast war. However, 50 Cent got too much love on both coasts for that to ever go down. Especially love from OGs like Spider Loc. See, Spider Loc was a member of G Unit when the Game turned his back on the squad and started to drop some brutal yet classic diss tracks. But y'all know, a loyal soldier like Spider Loc wasn't about to just sit back and let the Game diss his squad like that. Now, to add further confusion to this story, it seems as though the legend Snoop Dogg also seemed to switch up on 50 Cent and G Unit during this time to side with the Game. In his interview with Cam Capone News, Spider Loc talked about his battle with the Game and Snoop Dogg. I'll play the clip now and then come back with further backstory. Here's what Spider Loc had to say.
However, when I got through the door, I made the opportunity to approach Snoop Dogg about a bit of music that I had recorded when I was affiliated with Suge Knight that I just considered personally would be something that I should address because I allowed myself to be manipulated to not only diss Snoop Dogg, but say things derogatory toward his mother. And he seemingly was readily forgiving at the moment. You know, you can see the exchange we had. It seemed sincere. He told me it wasn't nothing. He advised me just keep it crippin' from that point forward. And then we had a number of positive interactions after that.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. So when you go to this conference, was Game still in G Unit at the time, or did Game leave, and was there any issues going on?
No, Game was still G Unit. However, I can recall not only Game, but Snoop also addressing the crowd with advice that was just generally derogatory toward the East Coast in their appeal for us as West Coast. Not us, because I wasn't included. I just popped up. But in their appeal for the West Coast to unite, there was a lot of general conversation about negativity toward the East Coast. And I'll just say that. But I believe Game was still G Unit. If you've seen the footage, you'll see that how I stood close to the stage and Mad Dog Game until he acknowledged me. And he kept walking with the mic, crossing my energy until he finally like, Spider Loc, I see you over there.
Did 50 ever ask you not to get involved in the beef?
He most definitely did. And, you know, I didn't leave him a lot of time to ask me that multiple times. He may have mentioned it more than once. However, Game was going so hard with the G Unit disrespect, and he was pushing the G Unit, and me and my peoples was doing this so hard. There is nobody that can stop me from responding eventually.
So when this happens, you know, Snoop and Game are really tight at this point. You know, I've seen some stuff on the internet.
Unbeknownst to me, they were that tight because the moment came where he did an interview and the dude was like, because Spider Loc was there, and immediately Snoop responded like, man, that. All right, you know, Game my homeboy. Spider Loc ain't sold no records, need to be cool with everybody. Everything come through me out here on the West Coast is just like that. G Unit can't save you, cuz. Game my homeboy, Spider need to be cool with everybody. He ain't need to be dissing nobody. I've made multiple attempts to reach out to Snoop Dogg and rekindle a connection that we had on some Crip shit, but I experienced difficulty. I went through a lot of trustful, reliable sources and could never get any type of positive feedback from him.
As wild as it sounds, I understand why Snoop Dogg made the strategic move to side with the Game. See, you gotta take it back to the days of Tupac. Don't forget, Tupac was furious with Snoop Dogg before he passed because he felt that Snoop Dogg went behind his back to call a truce with Biggie and Diddy. For many years, people called Snoop Dogg disloyal, and even to this day, some people still feel that way. Snoop Dogg was for sure not about to let that happen again, no matter how much respect he got for 50 Cent. Snoop Dogg did an interview with WeTV explaining why he called the truce with Biggie and Diddy back in the day. Here's what Snoop Dogg had to say on WeTV.
And then after that, you were on my show. And even though I know my intentions were good, I always felt just really bad about how your relationship with Pac ended.
Yeah. You said, so how do you feel about Puffy and Biggie? Because they was East Coast, and I'm the West Side. I said, I'm cool with them. I want to do some music with them. I want to work with them. Because I thought they was dope. I thought that they weren't competition. They were friends. We would always hang out with Puff and Big. They was our, you know what I'm saying? We would give them weed and hang out with them.
People lose that part of the story because they only know how it got bad.
They only know the end. They don't know
they
that.
don't know.
We all used to hang out. I love Biggie and I love Pac, and both of them love me. So how I look saying, Biggie, when I get back to the hotel from doing the interview with you, my uncle come upstairs and he say, Tupac is tripping. I'm like, what you mean? He said, he talked about you. I said, nah, you tripping. Nah, he ain't talking about me. He said, man, I just heard him. He down there talking about you. And he talking about going to the club and finding Biggie up. I'm like, what are you talking about? So now I get a call in my room, and it's Muta. Muta is one of the outlaws. He like, Pac wants some weed. I'm like, tell Pac to come get the weed. And hang up. Another phone call. It's Pac. What's up? Hey, Muta finna come get some weed for me. All right. That's all he say, right? So my uncle go to the club with him. I guess they played a Biggie record and he snatched the record off the turntable. He just was wilding out that night, acting a damn fool. He wanted to trip on me, but he couldn't. But his aggression was towards me. So because I said, I'm cool with Puffy and Biggie doing the interview with you. Tupac took it as if I wasn't down with him no more, as if I was side busted, as if I was scared. Death Row looked at me as like a traitor. The next day, actually I had to fly back home from New York. And normally on a private plane, it'd be Pac, his security, me, my security, Suge, and a couple of his homies. This time I go to the airport, my security walking with me. Suge like, hold up, they can't roll. They gotta catch a regular flight. So now I'm like,
That's not a good sign.
okay. First of all, Pac ain't said to me though, from that moment on.
But everybody else has security.
Yeah. I seen it happen. I know how to get down.
I was just gonna say,
I
that's
know.
what my mind was wondering.
I know how to get down.
Yeah.
I'm not a stranger to danger. I know what it is. So now I get on the plane. So now I'm looking around. Pac right here, a couple other right here. I'm like, what's up, Pac? And they do me like this. So I walk to the back of the plane, give me a blanket, grab me a knife and a fork, put the blanket over my nose right here, my little black glasses on, and ride like this the whole flight, hoping one of them come with me so I could stab out everybody on this mother. This is a 5.5-hour flight. Don't nobody say one word to me. Not one word. Just having conversations and doing all kinds of things. They ain't saying nothing to me. Now we land. My Rolls Royce, Tupac Rolls Royce, Suge Rolls Royce. We step off the plane. I'm like, Pac, you going to Vegas to the fight? That's the last time I seen my live.
Snoop Dogg has always been about peace and not war, so his moves don't strike me as disloyal at all. However, I understand why a lot of people might not feel the same way as me, especially Tupac and Suge Knight. I also feel that the OG Spider Loc did the right thing by remaining loyal to his squad despite the fact that many of them were from the East Coast. I don't care where you're from. Never let somebody punk you out of your principles, even if they are the most feared like Suge Knight. Click the video on the screen right now to hear how the late OG Proof stood toe-to-toe with Suge Knight and even accused him of taking out Tupac. Peace.